We, the people, tell the government what it is allowed to do. We, the people, are free.
Yeah, did you guys hear, I guess, OnlyFans, the guy who owns OnlyFans, I assume it's a guy who owns OnlyFans,
More than likely.
Well, not buying TikTok, but is like trying to buy TikTok or considering buying TikTok. He's one of the potential suitors for the platform.
Really?
Whoa.
No.
It could get real. It could get real interesting real fast.
I mean, think about it. It kind of already is.
Are they going to rename it like Dickcock or something like that?
TikTok.
TikTok.
From like OnlyFans.
TikTok is
So
a
it
great.
goes
That
OnlyFans
has-
and TikTok.
I was gonna say cock talk.
TikTok.
I was
I
trying
like
to rhyme.
TikTok. TikTok is perfect.
TikTok
No,
is
you don't
it.
need a woman-splain the puppet. TikTok was a perfect choice.
So basically, it's gonna be Instagram because all it is the puppet's not puppet. You're picking up what I'm putting down.
Now, all of my Instagram looks exactly like OnlyFans.
It's
Well,
literally just AI.
because that's what you search for, puppet.
All I do is
No.
like
Yeah.
It
half
is
naked
just-
girls doing dances on my like.
No.
Let me tell you, in Instagram, whatever you search for becomes your
Look at this.
algorithm. So you must have been, if you
That
even
is-
stop for a
I
second.
beg to differ.
on a
I beg
dancing
to
naked
differ,
girl.
Trad Dad. It is just floods of, but now it's like these AI sex bots.
That's
it's
true.
just weird. So anyway, we're used to. I don't know if there are puppet fembots. That would be interesting. Is there like a puppet OnlyFans?
Only puppets. Yeah, it's only
Only
puppets.
puppets fans.
Only
hands
hands.
puppets.
It's called Only Hands.
Only hands.
Only Hands.
It's called
uh,
the manhole.
The only manholes. The-
Manholes only.
It would be really interesting to see, but yeah, oh my gosh, we'll talk about that
Going
another
deep.
time. I don't want to
It's
get
called going
tangential in
deep.
the short open, but yeah, now apparently you can make AI characters for OnlyFans and make money off of them. At least that's what the
they're
ad
taking
says.
over they may as well be sentient. They're taking. Is there anything left that is good? They're self-cleaning, self-driving cars. There's going to be. I mean, literally, leave some for the rest of us. Jobs. I haven't talked to a damn human in a CVS since the good old days.
And-
Like party
and
like it's
services-
1999.
And service has gotten so much better as a result. So it's our fault. We suck at everything.
I am waiting
Facts.
for the Taco Bell to get the robots that make the tacos because then maybe they can get the order right.
A taco bot.
A taco
You're-
bot.
I would
I'm
buy
going
a taco
all-
They need a
bot.
taco bot.
We
Oh,
just
yeah.
segued into this 2-minute open from AI bots to tacos. So do with that what you will. Okay, not my dirty mind, yours.
I like tacos.
And I like both kinds.
Yeah. So speaking of
Jesus.
speaking of AI, a lot of people think that these AI.
Good
it-
stanky tuna
a lot of
taco.
people think
I don't have the will for this today.
yes, and a lot of people think that the tariffs are. A lot of people think that the tariffs are some kind of way to usher in an AI/robotic revolution, and because labor is going to become so expensive, it's going to usher in this new era of robots. So we're going to talk about that tonight. We're going to talk about.
We're like
Exactly.
making a little tariff taco right now.
Yeah, I think
Okay,
so.
so we're going to talk about tariffs.
Okay.
We're going to talk about Val Kilmer. He died. We didn't get a chance to talk about that.
He died.
But listen, since you want to talk about tacos, we're going to talk about Hooters a little bit. Some interesting news with Hooters
Oh,
tonight.
so now someone's on the tacos,
Yeah.
right,
Go from
puppet?
the-
It's not just
Yeah.
you
From
there.
the bottom to
We're-
the top.
Right, we're going to talk
Bottom
about
to the taco.
we're going to talk about sexy video games, Laura Loomer's meeting with Trump in the Oval Office, Eric Adams switching parties, and of course we might touch on Elon a little bit. Speaking of tacos, and all of that is coming up tonight on Politically Uncensored.
Fondle the Elon.
Free your mouth and your mind will follow. Speak your truth, don't wait for tomorrow. Words
Friday,
like
everyone, big news
rivers
today
can
on-
carve through stone.
This place is insane. Yeah, they did. She did it under oath. It's just becomes too much
Silence
noise and it becomes
too
negative. So
heavy to bear alone.
Deemed the Celebrity Whisperer by Playboy.
Write your fears on the back of the wind. Tear down the walls you were raised within. Chains of whispers rust and break. The cost of freedom is the noise you make.
Free speech in America is back.
Did that freeze for anybody else, or is it just
Nope.
on my end?
Looked
it's
good
just
to
you were
me.
transported to this, moment in time. Also, it's such a meta
Transfix, Dave.
transfix. It's such a meta moment that we have Tucker doing the laugh, and then in our intro, and then Puppet Carlson doing the laugh. It's like talk about transfix. It just brings me to another realm,
Trans. We talked about trans last time, I thought.
Well,
We always it comes up often, Dave.
it
You so happen to
does. It
convert
does.
words that have one meaning into words that have a different meaning.
So the big news
Yeah,
today.
we're gonna
Go-
teach. Yeah, no, we're gonna teach. Speaking of Puppet, you and I are gonna give Trad Dad here a little vocab lesson about words that have certain meanings.
That's later. You're skipping ahead. Be kind. Rewind. So today, anybody remember that?
Wow, the laugh is just hitting me on another plane tonight. Yes, Blockbuster.
Shut up, Trad Dad.
Do you remember they used to charge you a fine? They used to charge you a fine if you didn't rewind the videotapes.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Oh my God. It was
Yeah.
the highlight of my life. And you have to go in and it was like so much pressure. And then if the person,
Did
that
they
was
still
like,
have VHSs
that was like,
when you were a kid, Taylor?
yeah. And that was like Karen before the rebrand, because it's like Karen would go and take the last VHS. It's like, you're just like a hopeless 8-year-old. And you're like, I just want, the Land Before Time. And Karen has to go in and sweep the last one. And then you have,
and then not rewind it.
yeah, exactly. Remember the big buckets of popcorn in the checkout, and only if you were
Mhm.
lucky, like. Yeah.
So it was funny because you remember you needed high speed rewinders back then, because if you used the VCR, it would take like an hour. You'd be like, oh my God, rewind. So the fancy people, the rich folk among us, would have these high speed rewinders. You'd put the tape in and be like, "Vzz," and you'd be like, yes, I can get to go now.
I like
don't know
that sound effect.
They had those at,
we hear it again?
at Blockbuster, too. So when
They
you
did?
didn't rewind them, they put them in those fast rewinders and be like, "Zzz," and then they put them back up on
and
the
charge
shelf.
me $5.
Okay, speaking of the soft porn that is our Instagram feeds, where
No, we were talking about tariffs. Speaking of, what?
Well, it's gonna get to the maybe
Speaking
not to
of-
the tear, but to the
speaking of soft
rewind.
porn.
It all.
We were
Don't
just
you
talking
see
about
how-
VHSs
Yeah,
and Blockbuster. And
speaking
speaking
of
of
soft porn.
Here's why.
They always
Don't
had that curtain in the back.
Oh,
you
that
guys-
curtain.
Don't underestimate the blonde, because I always bring it full circle. And just like the rewind, where I suffered as a kid with the rewind was that like 50-year-long VHS of Titanic, and the whole scene where he draws her nude, and I would have to rewind because it was my only view of like what was basically.
No, you were like a little
back then.
pervy kid
And I'd
who
be
was like,
what is that? And my thumb would be broken from rewinding it over and over. So see, it all came.
oh, okay. Well, no, I still don't see the nexus, but I'm going to give it to you because why not? But Puppet made a good point about the little curtain. If it wasn't at Blockbuster, Blockbuster didn't have the adult
That's right.
videos. But at my local video store, when I was a little
Video
kid riding
or
my
the
bike
local
there,
video store.
yeah, you'd go and it would be like a black curtain, and you look behind the black curtain, and you'd be like, "Woo!" I didn't have to do my finger thing like Taylor used to do.
Do puppets get
that
ID'd?
could've
Like
went
trying to go
differently.
back there, I wonder? Or it's just like the unspoken thing, like you're good.
No,
know?
I get led into everywhere, especially where there's porn.
Yeah.
It's
As a matter of
second
fact,
home.
I think that's where Puppet was like. I think that's where they sell them, right next to the. Anyway,
We're
so
going from one sexy topic
Jesus
to what's
Christ, we're
sexier
all
than
over the
tariffs.
place.
I mean,
Producer
you
Rob's
tell
gonna be
me.
pissed.
Tell
All right,
me
listen.
what-
So tariffs. So today,
I'm like the porn king of Saskatchewan.
he has a monument to him outside of like a shiesty bar with one of
Oh,
those
yeah.
cigarette machines with the pull handles.
Yeah, they're gonna put Trump on Mount Rushmore and on next to me on that one.
All right, so tariffs.
So tariffs.
Could you imagine if Puppet was on Mount Rushmore? The backside would have a giant cave. It would be
Oh
like
my
his manhole,
God.
and you could sell tours up the back of
I was
Puppet's
gonna
manhole
say it
into
would
Mount
be
Rushmore.
the forest, like the Grand
Not
Canyon.
A bad idea.
I
The Grand
know.
Canyon could never. The Grand Canyon's like a little preview of what
Right.
this guy's got going on.
Right. You can ride an ass, a donkey. You can ride an ass up Puppet's manhole.
You
Or you
would
could
love
fly
to
a
ride an ass,
kite
wouldn't
through
you,
all the
Dave?
crevices.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fly a kite. I don't know if I don't want it to be windy in there. So,
Gonna be the gay Ben Franklin, aren't you, Dave?
so do you know Ben Franklin used to pass around porn in like government?
He was a perv.
Yeah, no, for true story, he would sketch out. Look it up, guys. He would sketch out porn and hand it out to people. Anyway,
I think we should just buy TikTok at the rate we're going. If the owner of
probably should.
OnlyFans is, it may as well be us.
Yeah,
I'm
let's just
surprised
be our
Trump
ticket
hasn't
out of
put a
here.
bid in.
yeah,
I
I'm sure he
know.
did.
He's got his plate
So.
full. He's got his plate full.
All right. So today, everybody's what I don't know if our audience is the investor type, but today the stuff.
Nah, none of the people that watch this show have any money. You guys are plebeians. Shut up.
No, so
You guys are broke.
So the stock market was down like what, 1,500 points today. Everybody, all the fake news is freaking out. They're like, oh my God, the economy's collapsing and it's all under Trump. It's one day. It's going to go back up. I'm not that worried about it. Everybody's apparently freaking out over tariffs, right?
You know, can I just comment on that before we move on to the tariffs, because the tariffs are obviously important.
Wait, on the stock market?
The stock market thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
guys,
nothing happened.
Right?
yet.
I thought you were about to pull a Taylor and say, speaking of soft porn.
Trump just
You were thinking.
I think something about the stock market always gives me wood.
Gives me a puppet hard
Gives
on.
me a stiff cotton. You know, wait, so getting back to the
Stiff
stock
cotton.
market. The stiff stock market. Okay, go. So he makes a major freaking play, like tariffs on everybody. This is an indictment on the stupidity of people, like reacting negatively, not on Trump's decision to make to make America great again by charging people what they ought to be charged to do business with us.
In fairness, guys, they don't see the longevity in the big picture.
No,
like we do. I mean, as we establish, like, you know, who knows how many people out there are, you know, the peasants. So here we are to enlighten them on, you know, what's to come, you know?
No, Puppet's exactly right. The stock market's reactionary and people are freaking out. And look, but Nike is down like 8% today. And what's so funny about this is they're like, no, Apple lost $600 million in whatever today, market cap. What's so funny is, and this is why I've never understood the left, and we're going to play this clip here of Nancy Pelosi. The left for the longest time apparently had a problem with like unfair labor practices.
Well, everything Trump is for, they had a problem with before.
Right. So are you telling me if Apple, who builds a lot of their stuff in China, if tariffs make them manufacture less phones in China, well, that's good. There's less child labor that's going to build the phones, right? I thought the left would be okay with that. And if Nike today lost 8%, and they're like, damn, how are we going to make our shoes with Vietnamese children? That should make the left happy. And if big companies are having to readjust their portfolios, the bad, evil, giant companies with all of their incentives from the government, if they have to adjust their portfolios because now they have to manufacture in the United States, why isn't the left happy about this? And I don't know, it's just because Trump's doing it. This seems like something the left would do, not Trump, right?
Dave,
Totally.
It's the same reason they're keying and quite literally
electric cars.
defecating on, exactly. Electric cars.
So check this
So
out.
riddle me that.
Just to point out the hypocrisy here, and God, that doesn't taste as good tonight as it used to. Check this. This is Nancy Pelosi from 1996, and I have a couple of comments on this video. The first of which is, look at Nancy Pelosi.
Holy crap, Nancy Pelosi in 1996.
You realize how old
Oh,
she is now when you
Nance.
see this video.
Oh,
So check
is it
this
going to
out.
be a smash or pass? We'll see.
Oh, they'll pass all day, but check it out.
How far does China have to go? How much more repression? How big a trade deficit and loss of jobs for the American worker? And how much more dangerous proliferation has to exist before members of this House of Representatives will say, I will not endorse the status quo? We have a $34 billion trade deficit with China, the 1995 figure. It will be over $40 billion for 1996. Since the Tiananmen Square massacre, this figure has increased 1,000%, from $3.5 billion then to about $34 billion now. In terms of tariffs, I think it's interesting to note that the average U.S. MFN tariff on Chinese goods coming into the United States is 2%, whereas the average Chinese MFN tariff on U.S. goods going into China is 35%. Any restriction. In terms of jobs, this is the biggest and cruelest hoax of all. Not only do we not have market access, not only do they have prohibitive tariffs, not only are our exports not let in very specifically, but China benefits with at least 10 million jobs from U.S.-China.
What? Was that Donald Trump or Nancy Pelosi?
Her facts. Her whiteboard was killing it.
Do you want to know what the trade deficit with China is currently?
What's that?
Tell us.
Almost $300 billion.
Wow. Wow.
So 1995, it was 35 billion.
Right.
Now it's almost $300 billion.
Right.
Look,
Right.
guys, these
So
are the
we've really
same
done a
peop-
great job keeping that in check, Congress people.
Right. These are the same people you're wondering, Dave, like, wow, sounds a lot like Trump. These are the same people who would be burning their bras in the streets to fight for women and now will happily throw a biological man to crush a
Right.
woman's skull, quite literally, in a sport which, like, Title IX, just like, it's just, again, are we really surprised? But I think it's kind of fun to get into the combo of what do we think most people really get about tariffs? How much do we even really know? I mean, let's be real. Let's be real about it. Like if you're sitting in on Jane and Joe, you know, having dinner one night and they're just discussing like
Jane and Joe
Smith, you know.
Could you pick any whiter names?
Oh man, Bob and Sarah Smith, okay?
Yes, apparently you could.
Amanda and Robert. How much do people really truly wrap their heads around and get this, right? And like from my understanding, it's to really incentivize companies to produce and create here in the US and bring business here. It's like these companies are going to produce elsewhere. They're going to be incentivized to do that. It's cheaper labor. Maybe they're being subsidized. It's helping these other countries' economies. So you know what, bitch? You're going to have to pay for that.
Well, it's more than that. And I know, here's the thing. We're a rich, powerful nation. And because we're rich and powerful, they've decided, whoever they may be, as Nancy Pelosi was pointing out, everyone we do business with decided, well, it's not fair for you to be able to trade with us on equal footing because you're so much richer than us. You should pay more for things, and we should pay less. And so anything
communism, guys, that's communism.
Facts.
But it's the entire world. So when we send something to China, I mean, look, that was Nancy Pelosi's chart. Here's our current chart. When we send something to China, they tariff us 67%. When we send it to the EU, 40%. When we send it to Vietnam, 90%. Taiwan, 64%. Japan, 46%. India, 50%. Switzerland, 61%. So all that IKEA stuff, that's Switzerland, isn't it? Or is that some other place?
It is actually, I believe,
Yeah.
yes.
So all of that crap that
I
they
thought
send
that was
to,
like Scandinavia. but
whatever.
I might be wrong.
all of that stuff that they send to us, they get to do it for free. But when we send
it
them
is a
our
ripoff.
stuff,
It is a ripoff.
we get charged double, like 50%. Look at Cambodia. What the hell's in Cambodia, by the way? 97% tariff, 100% tariffs in Cambodia. But at the end of the day, this is Madagascar, by the way, 93%. So all those chocolates you guys like, Laos, 95%.
And those lemurs, those things must have a big
But here's the reality, and this is all I want to say about this. The rest of the world deems it appropriate to charge us to send our stuff there, but we're supposed to consume their stuff and let them do it for free. Because why? Because we have more buying power?
It's what Puppet said. It is straight up communism. You know, there's a line in Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged that's all
Great
about
book. Great
amazing. That's all that she's my beat. That's all about this. And there's a line that's like, you know, the socialists, right? That's like, we have to, you know, share the burden all together. And it's like, how about actually no, hop off and sorry, like every man for themselves. So figure it out, Toots.
If you want
like,
to stay a great nation, then everything should be fair and square, baby.
Right. Well,
fair and square, baby.
Now,
That's
producer
right.
Rob wants producer Rob
Like that little cute sign next to you, fair and square. Like the politically uncensored sign.
It is fair and square,
right?
Producer Rob,
if you're for tariffs, does that make you a tariffist?
I'm sure it'll be coined.
You know what? I just had a total freaking tangent.
That was a stupid joke.
I was about to make a good transition to bring Rob in, but but when Taylor said earlier, speaking of soft porn, I put it in the back of my head that I want to find a clever place to put this out, but I just realized something. If Puppet was on OnlyFans, it literally would be soft porn.
It would literally be soft
he's all
porn.
soft and plush.
You know that picture those guys over at Pilled have of me?
Yeah.
That's
soft
going
porn.
on my OnlyFans.
Anytime Puppet is naked, basically. Anyway, let's bring in producer
Puppet
Rob.
Tariffs gonna go through the roof.
Producer Rob actually knows something about
tariffs. I'm going to be
tariffs.
on Mount Plushmore.
Womp womp. All right, let's bring in producer Rob.
I thought it was funny.
All right, producer Rob
Rob, are we another
landscape view?
Are we another? Yeah, what's with the landscape view, buddy?
Or horizontal? What do you call this?
Are we
That's
another
vertical view?
Vertical view. What's up with the vertical view? I thought you were
There
you go.
Yay!
Kind of producer doesn't know how to hold their phone when they're on live TV.
No.
Wow.
Producer Rob, are we another level of unhinged tonight?
Yes. You know, I
He said
can
yes.
almost not really talk about tariffs at this point. I'm just the soft porn puppet.
Are you a tariffist?
Stuff and,
Yeah, are you a tariffist, Rob?
you know what?
Tariffist?
Here's what I'm gonna say about tariffs. And I'm
Everyone
moving
made fun of me for the soft porn, and y'all are all bringing
you
it
guys-
back,
you guys are
Freudian
stuck
slip or
on the
not.
soft
All right,
porn.
that's right.
All right, here's all that matters. Nobody should actually try to understand tariffs. Taylor, you did a pretty good job with the subsidies and the cheap workforce and all that. But the truth is,
Bring it
He's
on home,
mansplaining.
baby. Gotta
Mansplain,
bring- gotta
Rob.
bring it on
no,
home
I just said
to the
she
US
did a
of
good
A,
job.
baby.
I'm
But-
not mansplaining.
But
The truth is,
Bless her heart.
that what Trump is
Oh
doing.
no!
Wow, it's hard to get a word in edgewise with you guys tonight. What are you all been at the bar? The truth is,
Taking a cue after
this is
you.
classic Trump. And what I love about it is, and if I'm sitting at home with whoever Taylor had, Joe and Jenny Smith or whatever, Trump looked out at a world of literally almost 80 years of how we've done trade and said, you know what? We're the biggest, most powerful country in the world. And we let everybody take advantage of us. And we take care of everybody and we support everybody and we fight for everybody. He's done it with defense. And he was finally like, you know what? We're going to whack these tariffs on you. Now, will it actually raise prices? Probably. Will we have a little short-term pain? Probably. He's like, yeah, we'll get some bruises. You know what it'll do to you guys? It'll literally level your economies. And they all know it. That's why they're all like, oh, we're reciprocating. But by the way, we're looking to sit down and talk. He's literally like, let's see how this battle ends. You will get a little hurt. You'll be dead.
Up front.
And I actually
Yeah.
respect that because he's kind of like, don't F with America anymore. Stop fucking with us. And I kind of admire that. I'm like,
You're
that's why
right,
he
Rob.
goes in. That's why he goes into sporting events and people start chanting USA, USA. These are competitive events. He's like, I am done being the most powerful player on the planet, and we get taken advantage of. Gotta admire that.
It's
That's all I got to say on that.
patriotism and pride and power.
And
Triple
power.
P.
And you know what? He is not backing down. And cheers to that. So,
Rob, let me
Cheers
ask
to
you.
that, Rob. That's
Matt,
great, Rob.
Matt
Cheers to that.
1776 over on Pilled. He's asking what the thought is on when tariffs will improve the economy. What's the life cycle of that, you think?
all right, it depends what you think. Short term, there's going to be some pain. There's no lie that it takes some, and I don't want to get in the weeds too much, but I appreciate the question. It takes some time to actually get. I mean, the idea is you bring production home. You don't want Nike making shoes in China, selling them
Yeah,
cheap
but we
here,
can't
right?
spool up a factory in 6 months.
No, right. So
Right.
we don't want to just buy stuff. We want to make stuff. If we make it, we create jobs. It's actual production value for our country. It's growth. I think it takes a few years, but I think in the short term, the price stuff is overrated because I do think what's going to happen is you're already seeing it. Walmart's CEO said we're going to make China pay for the additional costs. Like I think some of these companies will push it back onto the other countries. There will be some short-term pain. I mean, that's the reality.
Well, they're going to have to raise some prices, right, Rob, in the short term to compensate for the tariff.
they'll force the suppliers to pay the
eat it.
difference, to eat it, which is
Right,
what Walmart's
right,
saying
right,
they're going to do.
right.
So there'll be a little, but Matt, it's going to take some time, probably 3-4 years to see it. But you're already seeing commitments. Apple's like, we're in for a $500 billion. You know, like this is a question. Do you care more about your next 2 years? Do you care about your long term? Do you care about your kids, your grandkids? This is why we have a massive debt. Everybody just mortgages it off. It's like Trump, to his credit, is saying, I'm building the future. And he doesn't have a second term to worry about. So
Do you think
I
those
it's
tariff? Do you think those tariff revenues, Rob, will help pay down our deficit and increase our bottom line? Maybe get rid of our income tax.
Absolutely.
Well, I think that's the thing to
so much
solve
money.
it. Get rid of the income tax, and then
Oh, now we're going 1776, baby.
Yeah.
Let's go, puppet.
get rid of the income tax. That solves
let's
the
go.
economic problem of the people, makes government smaller, and solves the tariff tax problem.
Yeah.
On top of that,
I'm voting for
What
puppet.
he
I'm
said.
voting for puppet.
Yeah, seriously,
All right.
puppet for Prez.
Puppet for Prez. I'm going to get out of here. I do want to say that you guys talked about Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
So, you know, I have an interesting history with him, and it's weird. Last night, I kind of spent some time under the stars with my bourbon, giving a toast to him. So I met him years ago when he was just out of Top Gun doing True Romance right before Batman. And we became really good friends. And we had a long, kind of complicated relationship. It involved
You shared a
women we
girl.
both
You
knew.
shared a girl. Just divulge it, producer Rob.
Okay.
All right. You held out on us last time with the Fox News
Share
host.
a girl.
Okay.
Okay. But, you know, I got to say, he was one of the most creative, sometimes difficult people because he was so principled. But I admire the fact, just at a base level, he turned down a sequel to Batman after he did Batman. And I think he had to get his agents to get him out of the deal because I think the studio had him under it because he's like, I won't do it because it's creatively not good. And you kind of got to admire that spirit of like, I have the principle. I don't care about the money. I'm going to do what's right. And if that doesn't always work out, you know, he said, I learned so much from life and I grow and every character helps me grow. I just admired that. And you know what? It was a complicated friendship, but here's to him and the gift he gave me. And again, I don't go on the details, but he brought me to Hollywood the first time and on the set of True Romance. And in like 20 minutes, I'd met like every movie star because everyone was in that movie. You should see True Romance. Then ended up dating Patricia Arquette for a while. And like, it was the wildest beginning to a journey to Hollywood. And I was like, wow. So fascinating part of my life. Glad to share it with you guys. But here's to him and a creative life well lived.
Chin chin. I like that dedication to, especially like, you know, in this day and age, to not be a sellout. That's a huge franchise, and he turned down the money. Yeah, out of principle. Like, sorry, no, that takes cojones. I like it.
Not to be mistaken for Flonase, which is something you stick up your nose.
Puppet, how you managed to take it down there. All righty.
All
you
right,
guys go
Rob.
back to the show. Let me go back to my bar.
All right. Have fun. Thanks.
Bye, Rob. Rob's right on the money with that. I will say also around the tariff thing before we jump to Val.
Yeah.
With Trump, yes, he's raising the tariffs. Yes, that can help us long term. But there is also the Trump game, right? Trump raises the tariffs and puts tariffs on everybody. Everybody, as Rob was saying, is going to crap their pants and their economies are going to shit the bed. Well, what is that going to make them do? That's going to make them come back to us and renegotiate the tariffs. And so then the tariffs will basically disappear because they'll all be renegotiated in our favor. And then the tariff problem the tariff as a tax problem will disappear before we even get to the 2 years, right? And that's, you know, often a Trump strategy is to just play hardball till they give in and do what he wants them to do. And didn't Israel already like cut the tariffs back or something, or was that fake news?
No, some other country did. Or no, Canada.
It was Yeah,
Canada said they want to talk and
in the like 11th hour, I believe. Yeah. But yeah, we'll see. And I like the commitment to the, you know, long-term play here. And you're right, everyone's scrambling like they're, you know, chickens with their heads cut off in the short term. And like Rob said, it might take a little hit at first, but you know, I like the hardball of it all. So let's go.
Yeah. So now Val Kilmer.
No more messing with us.
Now on the Val Kilmer topic, earlier before we were preparing for the show, you said something about
do you remember the word puppet? It's our time to shine.
Nepo?
It's time to school.
Nepo or something?
It's our time to shine. It's time to school.
But we gotta tell the story. Why did this word come up?
So
do you want me to play the video first, Taylor, or do you want to?
I actually interviewed Val Kilmer's son, Jack, in what was ultimately Bruce Willis's last, you know, he's very ill. What was his last action film? And obviously after the Die Hard franchise, this was another franchise. So it was a really big deal. And his son, Jack Kilmer, was actually in the last like standoff scene with Bruce Willis in this franchise. So here's me interviewing him about, you know, you'll see. You'll all see.
All right.
Go ahead and roll it. Is the idea, like, I don't know if you saw Hailey Bieber with the Nepo baby, nepotism shirt thing. And this is something I'll talk to celebrity kids about. In fact, I just talked to Brandon Jenner about it.
Yeah.
And he talks about how, like, you know, in a way, like, of course we're lucky, but we actually like have something extra to prove. So I was curious, you know, your last kind of thoughts on that.
Well, first of all, I want one of those t-shirts. That's hilarious.
Really? Oh, he's like, I'll rep that shit.
No. I mean, it's just, that is so funny. You said they might have something to prove if you're, you know, from a Hollywood family. And yeah, I think that's true. But also in 2023, it's much different than it was in the early aughts or in the 90s. You know, you got shit for something like that. Excuse me, but it's a whole different game now, and it's like people don't really care that much, and also everybody's famous.
So yeah. So is there
Everybody's
some confusion
famous.
about something, Dave? Is there something you'd like
Well,
a
yeah,
little
I've never
clearing
heard of
up
a,
on?
what did you call it? A Nepo baby?
A Nepo baby.
Is that what you said?
Baby,
The
Dave.
the Nepo baby, Dave.
He didn't know Trad Dad,
doesn't
Taylor.
know.
Yeah.
Now
I
he
guess
doesn't know
he's-
Nepo baby.
I guess there's no nepotism happening, at least with his kids, at this clarinet, flute recital that he was
Recorder.
just at.
It was a recorder.
I'm sorry, recorder hot
Yeah.
cross bond,
Yeah.
recital he was just at because he didn't even know what a Nepo baby is. Too soon, Dave.
So this
That's what Puppet's manhole. That's how it snores at night.
His Puppet has gas.
That's how it sounds at
Puppet
night.
has gas.
That's my manhole at night.
So
It's
Plays
whistling
hot cross
Dixie.
buns on repeat.
We got a whistling bunghole, Dave.
so
You know that. You know that firsthand, don't you?
Yeah, well, listen, Taco Bell.
Oh,
So
brother.
speaking of tacos, so
See, it all comes back. It
all comes back to
comes back,
tacos.
just like the tariffs. It'll all come back.
So this whole Nepo thing. So this is the idea that I guess if you're a famous kid, things come easy to you, and that's what they call him, a Nepo kid.
Exactly. That you are just handed things on a platter. And
Mm.
this goes for politics, for, obviously Hollywood celebrities. And the Nepo baby is a really big thing right now because they're just running amok everywhere. Like I said, Haley Bieber
Right.
in that thing. I mean, they're everywhere, right? Even like Zoe Kravitz. I mean, it just goes on and on. So J.J. Abrams' daughter, who's a wicked lib, by the way. I'm sure
What's her name?
sentiment- Gracie Abrams. She's a singer.
ZZ Adams? I don't know.
Yeah, Gracie. But either way, it's a whole phenomenon right now. And it was interesting to talk to him about it. And as you can see, like what I never interviewed Val, but very like thoughtful, cerebral, very sort of like introspective. I appreciated that. And he was such a great guy and so much fun to interview.
All right.
But
well, I don't have a problem with these Nepo kids. They seem all right to me.
is that so? Because what would you say about Hunter Biden? I mean,
How about when a Nepo kid? He was a crackhead kid.
he was
a Nepo
pardoned
crackhead.
Nepo to right out of there, though. I will
Well,
say.
that's a whole nother thing that we're not going to get into tonight.
Are
Alex.
there actually? I thought like Meghan McCain. Like, who are people, right, who wouldn't really have that much of a presence? Let's talk politics, right? If
Yeah,
it wasn't
Meghan
for their
McCain's a
famous
good one. Meghan
famous
McCain's
parents.
a good one. Who's the other political Nepo babies? Well, I mean the
Come on.
Kennedys.
True. Yeah.
Huckabee
Exactly.
Sanders.
Yeah, that the Huckabee Sanders would be a good one. I mean, obviously the Trump kids. But at the same time, they're all in their own right, very, very good at what they do.
I was gonna say, I feel like they're all kind of like self-made in their own way.
Yeah, and that's the thing about Trump's kids. Like, they really are. All of them are tremendous people. Tremendous.
They're
So, I don't know
fantastic.
Like
it's
Ivanka's
the
like,
best.
she's a total G. I don't know. Yeah, but it's like, I don't know. Oh my God. Could you imagine like most libs hearing that? They would lose their minds at the thought of Trump kids not being Nepo babies. They would
Well,
have
they're not. But I mean,
full-blown
look, they
meltdowns,
all
though.
run very successful the different aspects of the organization. They're all making money in their own right. And it's not Nepo baby stuff with them. They come from a good family and they're raised right.
Mhm.
So
I mean,
I
there
don't know.
is some nepotism, but I mean,
Totally. Oh, for sure.
it's
I
a
mean, you
family
get in
business.
the
What do you want?
exactly like you obviously, but I thought it was interesting what he said and what Brandon Jenner said, which is like, I don't know that I fully believe this, but the idea of like they have to prove themselves 10 times harder. I don't know about that. Like they have access and get doors open to them left, right, and
Come on.
sideways that we, wouldn't. Oh my God, Jim Bob, thank you for this. Okay, this is now we're now level playing field, Dave. You and I with like the personified version of tariffs because you didn't know what Nepo baby meant. I didn't know what your shirt meant either.
For
and thank you,
real?
Jim Bob, for asking.
You
I
didn't
meant
know
to
what the
ask this-
shirt meant?
I meant to ask this whole time. Is it just coffee when you haven't had it yet and you're like, gonna be coffee, need it? I don't know.
Taylor, you don't know what the kafifi is?
No.
Oh, well, let's
Now
listen.
I don't. Now I
Speaking
was
of
all had a one up on
All
you
right.
since you
Well,
know
I'm
Nepo
going
baby.
to leave you hanging on the kafifi. Speaking of kafifi, Hooters is back. Check it out.
What happened to your business model? Is America rejecting it?
No, Brian, thanks for having me today. Happy to be on. Absolutely not. This is a ginormous inflection moment for our brand. We could not be more excited for our customers. We could not be more excited for our employees. The original owners are taking back the concept and we're returning to its roots and make it as successful as it's been for 42 years.
So do you feel as though the franchises were losing the way?
No, we've got some tremendous franchise partners. As a matter of fact, one of our most successful ones will be partnering with the original group to go ahead and return the Hooters to its glory. So, no, we've certainly not lost our way. At the end of the day, this is going to be an opportunity for us to bring back what we know the brand's about, to invest in the brand, and to bring it back to where it
And what is that, Sal?
He's bringing back the boobs, baby.
Exactly. What is?
So wait, so you're telling me people don't want this anymore?
Uh-oh. Okay, well, so that was a couple years ago, and if you guys don't know,
That's why they went bankrupt.
That actually wasn't real Hooters. It was these women kind of like protesting and trying to make a statement, and it was their Halloween costume.
Got it.
But it so cracks me up how in this interview clip they beat around the bush, no pun intended, and he's like, "What the brand's about?" I'm like, "Tell us, old Sal. Like, what is the brand about?" And Brian Kilmeade is like, "Are Americans just are people just not buying into the marketing or what you're about?" Like, it's like so roundabout. It's like, let's just get what it is.
Well,
Get
I mean,
to it,
look, he
guys.
should have. I mean, there's got to be something wrong if you're going bankrupt. If it's not the franchisees and it's not the concept, then and it's not the
Well, the wings
movement
suck.
away from. Yeah, well, how about this?
Actually,
Why
those
don't
are
you
pretty
mop
good.
your fucking floor and make some better wings, and you won't go out of business?
Yeah, the wings suck. The thing is, you know,
Faces
Even
are
these wigs
filthy.
aren't as sloppy as these girls' Halloween costumes. We could be talking then.
The freaking floor is filthier than the chicks.
ooh, I didn't find the chicks filthy.
don't-
Here's what
they're
I
not
think it
filthy.
is.
I actually like
Hooters.
The chicks a
I-
He's
lot.
like, I'm actually,
So I've been to Hooters a couple
I'm a
times,
fan.
but I'm not a Hooters guy. Like I have a good friend of mine who likes Hooters snow crabs. So he go. I swear to God, so he could go to Hooters just for the snow crabs.
That's
sushi
disgusting.
at a gas station. I don't know about that, but
I'm just telling you, he goes to Hooters for the snow crabs. But I've been to Hooters a handful of times.
and
The food. I mean, the thing is, and I think I understand this. Like,
You don't
other
go there
than
for the food.
attractive women
Exactly.
in
Thank
like
you,
short
Puppet.
shorts, there's other restaurants
It's
that have
beer and boobs. That's where you're going there. Beer
right.
and boobs.
But the thing is, other places offer that with better food. So
what
like,
other places?
wait, yeah.
there's
well,
that
actually,
there's that Twin Peaks.
That
I
place
was just
sucks
gonna
worse.
say.
Oh, Twin Peaks is awful. Yeah.
So it is same thing, same concept. And if you guys don't know, Twin Peaks is like the lumberjack version of Hooters, and they're wearing these like plaid
Yeah.
shirts and
Tied up
cutoffs.
in the
So
front.
a friend of mine is a manager here in Nashville of
Yeah.
one, and it's crazy because
Why didn't you take us there when we were in Nashville?
what's that?
Why
I
didn't
just
you-
didn't want to. Could you imagine the
'Cause she was
motorboating
off that
puppet
night.
in there? We'd
Well,
never get him out of that place.
That's why you. I mean,
We'd never get him out of that place. We had things to do, people to see. We'd be
You
stuck
take me
there all
to
night.
you take me to Aldean's,
We'd
but
be
you don't
stuck
take me to
there all
Twin
night.
Peaks that your friend's a manager at.
So he's a manager.
Anyway,
And we had this conversation actually recently. I said Hooters was like the staple. They like put this concept on the map and they're going under. How are you guys doing? And he said, he's like, we're actually like kind of crushing it right now. So I don't know where Hooters went. It wasn't like the body positivity because they never went full blown body positivity. So I don't know. They weren't
you know what it
having,
was?
they weren't having Chunkalicious in those little orange shorts. So I'm just saying. So what went awry here?
I think it was just look. You cut off half. And women don't like to go to Hooters. That's the first reason. So you're only getting men. Maybe the workplace habits changed as well. A lot more people are working remotely, so they're not getting together with their buddies and going to Hooters at lunchtime. The service was never really all that great. The food was never really all that good. And, you know, it is kind of a dated concept in a way because here's the other thing. Hooters was invented before yogurt pants, as my friend Chad Caton calls them. Now women walk around with their boobs hanging out wearing yoga pants. You don't need to go to, you don't need to eat crappy chicken wings to look at a girl's butt and boobs.
TikTok.
Right.
Just open up Instagram.
But that's true, right? So think about it. Where you can consume your sexual content, you don't need to go and eat crappy wings and dirty floors anymore.
That's a
You can
good
consume
point,
it
Trad
for
Dad.
free.
It is. It's everywhere. You know, everything, everywhere, all at once.
Have you seen this new
all the
trend
time?
on the videos where the girls are getting out of bed in the morning in their underwear and then they put their clothes on?
No, but
and
I'm
then
not
it shows
surprised
like
by this.
their
So
like,
everyone
whole
on Instagram.
morning routine. Like why do I want to? First of all, why do you want to video your tape? And you can't video tape yourself. So someone's videotaping you, or you set up a camera.
That's why
so
your
they can get out
algorithm's
of
so
bed
screwed up on Instagram, Puppet.
Influencers in the
without your
wild.
clothes on, and then put your clothes on in front of the camera, and then go make yourself a coffee, and go to the gym. Like what the hell?
They act like it's real, and you're exactly right. It's like they have a whole camera crew. It's like I can't. But my question is, why would a place like a Twin Peaks be thriving? And do people just write Hooters off as like vintage? And I don't know. I would almost disagree too. I agree and disagree. I agree that we see it and we're bombarded with it, and it's oversaturated with TNA in our face all of the time. But I think there is something about, like, a guy friend said to me once, he's like, I was going through a rough patch. I'd go to a place like a Twin Peaks, and this is like a good looking young guy. And he's like, sometimes it's just nice to get attention from a good looking girl and have her care about my day. I mean, guys be like that. That's a whole separate story. But I'm just saying, I don't know that this is a concept that ever really is shelved.
Yeah, I don't know.
But he seems to think it's going to rise from the ashes of bankruptcy. So we'll see.
You know what? Speaking of rising from the ashes of bankruptcy, so listen, I'm not a big gamer. Right?
I've got something rising from the ashes.
I bet you do.
Right, and from the cotton balls. Now I'm thrown off.
The cotton hoodie.
So there's this
Mount,
game
Mount
called
Rushmore.
It's really rising from the ashes.
So there's this So there's a game called Marvel's Rivals, and there's a new season out. And people are freaking out. I don't know if you're gamers out there. Maybe on Pilled we have some gamers. But if you're a gamer, people are freaking out about this character, Emma Frost. Check it out.
Emma Snow.
To all our new guests from across the timelines, I welcome you to the Hellfire Gala. Welcome one and all to Krakoa. This living island may be a sovereign mutant nation, but tonight, our home is yours. Honored guests, I propose a toast to Krakoa.
Now, what people really like about her, and here's another picture of it. Look, what people really like about I guess she has just like very strong thighs. She's very curvy, and people are freaking out about her. And is it Emma Snow?
Emma Snow.
I think it's
I thought it was Emma Frost.
I have Emma Snow written down. Wait, are we?
That's Emma. You're thinking Emma Stone.
No, not Emma Stone. Emma. Well, contrary to all this, Emma Stone has had this really weird androgynous thing that is absolutely not working. Emma Snow. Oh, Emma Frost. You guys are right. You're right.
It's Emma Frost. Anyway, so this.
Sorry, there's a Luna Snow.
She has thunderous gams, they say.
She's got the thunder. Yeah. They want to just get up in those thighs, like snap their neck with those thighs, I guess.
Right. And so here's
right up in them.
Here's what I found interesting about this.
You like the thighs, Dave. That's what you found interesting.
I mean, if you can find an animation attractive, then those are nice thighs for a cartoon woman. But the thing is, what I found interesting was in the age of woke, especially with Marvel, right? Now, Marvel doesn't technically develop this video game, but it's still their intellectual property. But in the age of woke Marvel, I find it, I guess, refreshing that you can just have like a white attractive female with nice thighs, and like there was no politics about it. I think people really like that. And if in a video game people, I can't imagine video game people are all conservative. If they're okay,
no, they're all nerds and they like hot chicks that are drawn.
Right. So why does entertainment, why does Hollywood then feel compelled to not give the people what they want? We talked about the other Snow White the other day, and like people rejecting the movie. But clearly these video game developers know what people want. What's going on here, you think?
Well, I gotta be honest. I actually feel like Emma Frost is kind of it isn't getting into any hot water, because it kind of like strokes the cotton puppet pants of both sides. Because she is like, it kind of fulfills the left thing of like, she is a little bit like more thick. She's a little thicker. So she's not
thick. She deadlifts 700 pounds.
That's what I'm saying. But she's also got the like big boobs, small waist, also like super feminine also, but like strong, right? With the thighs. So I almost feel like it kind of
like the only chick that can take Hulk from behind.
I'm saying, but I think it speaks to like the Hooters thing and all this. It's like we all, men, women, I'm a straight woman and I can say it. It's like there is a timeless appeal about a hot, strong, badass lady. I mean, Emma Frost, yes. And the people at Disney obviously are not ever probably going to see it this turn of the century. And you know what's actually interesting, Dave and Puppet? I loved this comment, by the way, from Christy. Yes. She's talking about the Hooters thing, saying if Me Too plays a role, men are too afraid to objectify women in fear of misconduct. No, literally. Like if your eyes just wander 45 degrees, you're in trouble. But I saw a clip of Clay Travis of Outkick talking about Snow White, to your point, Dave. And I was actually surprised to see this from Clay. I was like, oh, okay, Clay. And he's like, they should have just hired Sydney Sweeney. And even my wife knows it's because she has huge boobs. And that movie would have made $1 billion.
She's single now, by the way. Sadly, her engagement doesn't seem to be working out. Just, for the guys
Glenn
out there.
Powell, he might have snuck in and stole your girl, all you guys. But either way, there's just something about a hot, curvaceous woman.
Listen to what the gamers said about her. Here's a few of the comments. I felt my neck crack when I first saw her. Damn. I genuinely can't tell if I want to play as her or if I want the enemy Frost to crush me. She got thick. Wood. This is the comment in and of itself. Wood. I'm just waiting for the cosplays. Good Lord, the thighs are gonna thigh. Okay. I feel like she can simply use her thighs to get the win without diamond form. And then this last comment, she's using 2 tanks just to walk. So people are really excited about this chick's thighs. So.
I'm telling you, I think it's kind of that balance of like, she's super hot and yes, not woke, right? Hot, blonde, white, curvy bombshell, but it's also like she could kind of like kick my ass and I dig it. Like I'm kind of into it.
Wow.
Like with Joy Villa, when she was on
back.
like AOC with Dave in bed, maybe. I don't know.
Speaking of soft porn. So
but yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think it's hot? Are you gaming with
like
Emma
I said, as hot as a cartoon can be, sure.
Puppet.
I actually was reading something about it was a tweet, and someone tweeted to Elon on a post about his robot, Optimus robot, and they tweeted like a picture of a female cat character. There's a female cat character that's popular, and basically was saying like, when are you gonna make him look like this? And he said, oh well, the Optimus is gonna have configurable skins. And I'll tell you what, when they can make an Optimus robot look like Emma Stone, game over, folks. No one's leaving the house.
Well, old Emma Stone.
Or Emma Frost.
We're getting them all. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. When it can make the cosplay characters come to life and look like them, and they can, spend time with them at home.
I feel like I've seen too many movies where that goes really bad.
It's like a dog who can lick himself.
I feel like those movies go really bad. Like the AI starts to like start crushing hard, and then they like lock your house down, and they don't let you leave, and they're super powerful. Like I think that always ends badly in every iteration of having like a robot girlfriend with AI. It always ends up bad in every movie I've ever seen.
There's a new movie about that with Megan Fox where she's like, I think the husband, like she's like the hot nanny or something, and you could see where that goes.
I think I know that. What's that movie?
Until it's not. It's new. It's supposedly cheesy, but it's on Netflix. I don't know the name of it, but
yeah. And
trust no bitch. Like not even a robot bitch.
I think it's kind of like a Japanese thing. It's called like Not Gonna Watch It.
They could be Not Gonna Watch It. But people watch the last season of what was that, Walking Dead, so they'll pretty much watch everything.
Did you explain what your shirt meant, Dave, by the way? Because
at the end of the show.
Wow, burying the lead.
At the end of the show. So our favorite investigative journalist, Laura Loomer. If you guys don't know Laura Loomer, they don't want to get on her bad side. Luckily, I'm on her good side as of now, which is good. But
that might change.
It could change. She is ruthless. And apparently she did some research on some of these people that were in Mike Walz's NSA or whatever, National Security Council, NSC. And apparently she had an Oval Office meeting. And in their Oval Office meeting, she had this binder of information. And then the rumor is that Trump fired some people based on her recommendations. The media is absolutely going apeshit for it. They even asked Trump about Laura Loomer on Air Force One today. Check it out.
So Laura Loomer is a very good patriot. She is a very strong person. And I saw her yesterday for a little while. She makes recommendations of things and people. And sometimes I listen to those recommendations like I do with everybody. I listen to everybody and then I make a decision. But I saw her yesterday. She was at the ceremony. And she'll always have something to say, usually very constructive.
What did she recommend?
She recommended certain people for jobs.
Adding to the administration, not
adding.
Who did she not recommend? Firing?
Well, she'll recommend that too. But yesterday she recommended some people for jobs.
Did she have anything to do with the NSC aides who were ousted?
No.
So the fake news is out there saying that she had something to do with these people getting fired. Trump said himself, no, that's not what she did. Laura Loomer actually hasn't spoken about it because she said, out of respect for the meeting that I had with Trump, which was a private meeting, I don't know who leaked the fact that we have a meeting, but I'm not commenting on it. So Laura's being professional, not commenting on it. The fake news is suggesting Trump fired these people based on her recommendation, and Trump is saying it's not true. Again, it's the fake news trying to create narratives where they don't exist. We see this just about every day now, and this was the latest
who really
one.
cares if he did take her advice or not? She's an investigative journalist. She
Right.
digs up all kinds of stuff on people, and he needs more people like that around him because he definitely has people around him that should not be around him. That's for sure.
That's the beauty of Twitter, because what she did come out and say is some choice words directly to Caitlin Collins. I was like, rear. I loved it. She was like, this woman is just character. This is like character assassination. This is not, because, Caitlin Collins went on her whole thing, or there was a clip of her on CNN talking about how she, exactly what you guys are saying, is conspiratorial, has said like 9/11 was an inside job, and basically, coerced, Trump into making these, whatever, all this. And I love how she just went on directly to her to be like, Caitlin Collins, you're at, like, straight up added her in the first, mentioned her in the first line, and was like, this is just, you just continue to do this character assassination. And
and it wasn't just that.
Married to it.
In addition to the fake news about Laura Loomer, we also had this fake news about Elon Musk that a lot of people have been asking me about. What's going on with Elon Musk? Elon Musk, from the very beginning, was supposed to serve like 130-day detail or something. It was like the most amount of time somebody can serve and haven't be confirmed, or there's some sort of rule that allowed him to run Doge for a limited period of time. And the fake news was running around saying, Elon Musk to leave Doge, and made it seem like the president was kicking him out.
Like ousted, yeah.
Right. And that's and you know how many people are running around now believing that Trump is ousting Elon? It's not even remotely true. And in fact, JD Vance was on, I don't even know what the hell show he was on. He was asked just about this. And here's the truth. Again, you heard from Trump, right from Trump's mouth, that no, Laura Loomer didn't cause people to get fired. And now hear from JD Vance the truth about Elon.
I want to get to some other news because there were some reports that came out that Elon Musk is leaving. Now, of course, the president had already said he was only going to be here for a temporary basis.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. Doge will continue after Elon Musk. Will he still be an advisor to you and the president? I know y'all have a great relationship. Tell us about it.
Well, first of all, that report I saw was total fake news. Yeah. Elon came in and we said, we need you to make government more efficient. We need you to shrink the incredible, vast bureaucracy that thwarts the will of the American people, but also costs way too much money. And we said that's going to take about 6 months. And that's what Elon signed up for. But of course, he's going to continue to be an advisor. And by the way, the work of Doge is not even close to done. The work of Elon is not even close to.
So there you heard from JD Vance exactly what the fake news was lying about. Again, it seems like every time we come on this show, there's another fake news lie that has to be contradicted. They can't help themselves.
They can't. I mean, the fact is, it did get me curious, I'm not going to lie, that, is it a little bit of like this guy, maybe if it's inadvertently is just causing so much distraction and chaos. And we do need to even though I love that Trump is so don't give a shit, is a little bit like it's kind of getting in the way and a distraction of like what we need to be as a united front and as an administration, So I did think that. I'm like, is there a little bit, because like he said, now they're saying he's going to have this sort of like advisory role, whatever it is. And I think initially it was only supposed to be 130 days, something like that. But on the other end of it, Elon Musk is somehow now the new Trump in that he's the target. Like he has the bullseye on his back. Everything he does is wrong and bad, and he is just the bad guy no matter what. And it makes you also think it's like, He's the richest man in the world. Do you think that he's like doing this for like shits and giggles? Like, I really do believe that he's trying to make things better. And like, he doesn't need this crap. And he was doing it for free. No one talks about that either. So, we'll
It's
see.
insane.
But
I think that the people have tried, the Democrats have tried over and over and over and over again to smear Trump in a way that makes him lose his, as they wanted, exactly what they said they want to do to him, lose his popularity and power. But the reality of it is, every time they do their stupid shenanigans to try to reduce Trump's popularity and power, it always backfires on them, right?
Yeah.
So I think that they're figuring, well, why not just, since Trump is cozying up to Elon and Elon is so visible, why don't we just try and use Elon to discount Trump, because we know we can't get anything to stick on Trump. Maybe if we discredit Elon enough, it will rub off on Trump and make Trump look bad and bring down Trump's popularity and power. So I think they're trying a different tactic, because the one just going after Trump just never seems to work for him.
did you guys see the video that came out today of AOC swerving the question about, does the rhetoric coming out of the Democratic Party against Tesla and Elon Musk, like, does that attribute to some of this violence? And she's literally like, well, I've been called, a communist and that I hate this country. I'm like, that had nothing.
People want to have
like
sex
she
with
did.
me.
I was just like, wow. But that's politics, right?
Well, yeah, not only is that politics, but it's driving Democrats away from the Democratic Party. Mayor Eric Adams, I'm not sure if you guys saw this. Mayor Eric Adams, New York mayor, Democrat, by the way, left the Democrat Party. Check it out.
Although I am still a Democrat, I am announcing that I will forego the Democratic primary for mayor and appeal directly to all New Yorkers as an independent candidate in the general election.
The mayor's announcement comes one day after a federal judge dismissed the corruption charges against him permanently, not allowing the Trump administration to keep them hanging over.
So, Trump administration hangover said it wasn't the Trump administration. The news is so fake. You don't hate the fake. You don't hate the news
administration
enough.
Put those charges on him.
Right? And the Trump administration. The fake news is so fake. I just can't even. Anyway.
But what a big deal that he is. And you know what's the most, kind of entertaining for me to watch is he's so pulling a Trump and taking a page out of his playbook, like by trying to be sort of like the cool guy. For example, he was just on Andrew Schultz's show, Flagrant, I think it's called. And it's like, oh, like he's one of the boys. And I think, on like a serious note, he does talk about actually like what he calls a permanent state in the deep state. And he's basically like, yes, it's absolutely real, which we know Trump is 100%, like we'll say the same thing, which is why he's getting rid of these people, right, who aren't loyal. But it's so funny because Andrew Schultz asked him something like, who's the hottest person in Congress or something, and Eric Adams is like, he's like, they all have great shorties, ha ha ha, and they all like, I just was like, this is so giving Trump on like the Full Send podcast. It's just so funny, and like you see Gavin Newsom now trying to do this with his show. So
what does that say though, Taylor? Right? If you have Gavin Newsom's trying now. I don't believe for a second Gavin Newsom is going to the center because he's changed his ideas. I think he's trying to run for president.
Facts.
But he is such a greasy ass slime ball.
He totally is.
But the fact that he has to, the fact that he feels like he has to distance himself from the radical left says something. The fact that Eric Adams now, I'm still a Democrat, but I'm not running as a Democrat, says something. The fact that RFK left the Democrat Party, Tulsi Gabbard left the Democrat Party, and this is where I think I don't know what's wrong with the radical left. They're still burning Teslas. They're still protesting for Palestine. They're still doing this pro-trans stuff. And, the other day, I think what they voted down, or some kind of bill that they wanted to keep men out of women's sports. Like, nope, we're doubling down on that. And then you have the Cory Booker thing we talked about the other day because of what? Tax on tips? That's what the motion on the floor was in the Senate.
That was what that was about?
Tax on tips,
25 hours for tax on tips?
This is how...
But they were both promoting tax on tips.
Puppet, this is how completely unattached the radical left and liberals have come from
this is why
political
Hooters
reality.
is coming back, because they are banning tax on tits.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. That's their platform.
Tax on tits.
Tax
No
on
tax
tits.
on tits. No tax on tits.
On TikTok. What's gonna be TikTok?
There we go. Put it all back together.
That's a good one. What took you so long?
It was just,
well,
what can I say?
That,
The Tennessean tornado just swept my brain up.
I'll tell you what confifi is. So we talk about fake news. A long time ago, a long time ago, Trump was tweeting in the morning, and it was so-called tweeting back then. And he said something about something that he does despite the negative press coverage. But there was a typo in the word coverage, and it looked like this, C-O-V, fefe, cove, fefe. So coverage got messed up, and it made national news. The president had a typo in a tweet, and the media lost their freaking minds. It was on every news. What is confifi? Is he suggesting something? Is this a cryptic message? It literally went around the world. Everybody was talking about confifi. It was just a typo, but they lost their freaking minds over it.
But you know what, Dave? This is why people like Eric Adams are becoming independent. This is why, because it's like Trump is sometimes, I don't want to say like sloppy, but just authentic, right? And whereas like you see the other side, and we saw it with Kamala, fake and contrived and trying to fit in all of these boxes that everybody despises and doesn't reflect us and aren't real. I mean, you look at, like, it kind of speaks to the Eric Adams things, honestly, because this is how far they've gone and how unhinged all of this is. There's a school district in Long Island that is currently being sued because they changed their mascot to the Spartans. And there's a local man who heads like the NAACP over there saying that it is white supremacist, it is sexist. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that will just literally make your brain melt. Yeah. And I also have to say that my favorite part of this entire story is that they changed to the Spartans from the Native Americans or something like that. So like the Chiefs. So it's just like, it'll literally have your brain in mental twister. So
and that's because if you do anything to try to appease these people, you can't do it. You can't appease them.
Exactly. So
whether stop trying.
Exactly. So whether it's something like that or the streets of Manhattan being flooded with illegal immigrants to where Eric Adams, like we cannot, I think he said, and don't quote me, it was like $300 million. Like it's all absurd. Versus
I'm quoting you. I'm going to quote you.
Off of the cuff, a Kafifi tweet that's like, sorry, my bad, but it's real.
But they lost their minds because they can't help it. By the way, Jim Bob says
has the best tweet of the night.
Yeah,
best tweet of the night, baby. Hall of
Puppet
Fame.
And Taylor so often. Awesome. It says.
Can we get a? Can we get a? We actually
a 2-shot.
Yes, please.
Okay, I'll get you a 2-shot.
Thanks,
and the answer to that, Jim Bob, is because they're on a show with me.
Wow.
So hang on, let me give them the 2-shot.
You want to talk about father?
All right, you guys do the thumbs up and the 2-shot so we can put it on a T-shirt here. Hang on.
Thanks, Jim Bob.
All right, enough of that nonsense.
I was getting used to this life. I mean,
yeah. Well,
what do you say, puppet?
It's not going to last.
Yeah.
So
it's not going to last.
We should call that the Hooters shot.
Dave's like, my shoulders are hurting from carrying the show. I don't know what you two are talking about.
That's what I'm saying, Jim Bob. Well, I'm glad you like it. That means I was able to have them deliver their best performances for you. And with that, we are out of time.
He was also the what's the orchestra leader? I'm sorry, I'm brain dead tonight.
Maestro.
You're the maestro of the clarinet of the
conductor.
Flute
Well, conductor.
The conductor of the flute recital tonight as well. So
it wasn't a flute; there were recorders.
A recorder.
Even better.
He wears many hats, folks.
Yeah. So
conductor.
All right, guys. This all.
Puppet dancing to it though.
All right, guys. That's all the time we got for tonight. Join us. What is it? It's Thursday, so we're back next Tuesday. I'm going to find us a guest for next Tuesday. We have a great guest coming up next Thursday, right? Who's coming on next Thursday?
I'll give a little hint. It is somebody who is a regular on Gutfeld, and we are in the Gutfeld late night time slot. So I say we kind of tease up a little friendly late night competition. Yep. It's gonna be fun.
That's right.
Can't wait.
Oh, by the way, I was on a show today.
Puppet Carlson going head to head with Greg Gutfeld.
People have been loving on the puppet lately online. By the way,
I know.
Yeah.
Dave, do we like smell or something? Is it? I'm starting to think it's us. Like
us?
what?
I mean, I smell great.
He's like, speak for yourself.
Listen, guys. You can't compete with this.
I see that.
Not a competition at all. All right, guys. We'll see you next Thursday. We're going to have a Gutfeld. I mean, we'll be here next Tuesday. Next Thursday, we have a Gutfeld regular on. Next Tuesday, I don't know, maybe get a surprise guest in here over the weekend. I'll figure it out. Whoever was in the path of the storms this evening, I hope everybody is safe. A lot of tornadoes across the heartland this evening. So everybody be careful out there. Thank you all for watching. You're the best part of our day and night now, it seems. Puppet, don't you have something to say before we go? You always have something to say.
Yeah, the flea stops here.
We're going with that one again?
No, what was the other one?
Our torpedo Hooters microphone
mouth.
tits love you,
That's
guys.
For your mouth, and your mind will follow.
Okay, whatever. Let's just end the show. Good
No,
night, everybody.
I said,
All right.
that's the one.
All right, it's a good one. All right, good night.
There you go.
Free your mouth every Tuesday and Thursday right here at 10 p.m. Eastern.